We can hear it? Great. Let me see if my slides are here. Lovely. Who would like to 2x their business? Awesome. I think I'll do without the microphone here. Should be okay. Just work twice as much. Thanks, guys. All right, I just want to make sure this is good. So this is going to be more of an interactive thing. There's going to be a bit of theory here, but I want, like Tim was saying before, and I've done a smaller event recently where it was much more of like interactive. We sit down, we talk about a theory for 5 minutes, and then we do some work with that. And the guys loved it. So I wanted us to do a bit more of that here. And, like Tim was saying before, how many times have you gone to a cafe with your coffee, like ready to pound out some work, and then, there you are looking at soft porn on Instagram after 3 minutes. And it's like, this didn't really work the way I planned. So I want to get some real work done now. That's why I hope everybody's fresh. Hope you got your coffee. And let's dig into how to basically go through this systematically. This is not going to be like hypothetical stuff. It's an exercise that I do every couple of months in my business. And it's something you'll want to memorize and just be able to pull out and do whenever you need to. So without screaming them out, who already knows the only 3 ways that you can grow your business? So just a couple of people. Yeah, a couple more. Great. But the truth is, there are only 3 ways that you can grow your business. And because there's only 3 ways, it's very easy to memorize. And once we go through this exercise, you will have this in your brain bank, and you can pull that out every 3 months, 6 months, every year. Go through the exercise, brainstorm, get to the answer, and then execute. So this has been super effective for me because, as you guys know, when we're running our businesses, you get so caught into it, right? You're so deep into it that it's difficult to get that 30,000-foot view, look at your business, think about, okay, well, if I run through these 3 questions, like how could I actually optimize my business and get it to where I want to? It can be so difficult, but with this exercise, it becomes very, very easy. So let's go through the only 3 ways to grow your business. Number 1, you can get more customers. Pretty self-explanatory, right? If you have 10 customers and then you go to every month and then you go to 13, well, your business is going to be slightly better off. The second thing you can do is get your customers to buy more. Like at the time of purchase, the average order value increased, right? So you can get more customers or you can get them to buy more. Everyone following? I know it's rocket science right here. The third thing you can do is get customers to come back more often. Already, doesn't this make this task a lot simpler? The idea of doubling your business, if you know that these are the only things you could do, and all you would have to do now is run through some ideas of doing each one, brainstorming how that fits into your business, picking 1 or 2 of those strategies, and executing on it. That's all you got to do. So, let me just illustrate something real quick. Let's say that currently you're averaging 10 customers a month. They are usually shopping for $1,000 a month, and they never come back. So the average purchase rate from you is 1, right? So if we increase these 3 by 30%, what would happen was you'd go from 10 to 13%, from 10 customers a month to 13 customers a month. You'd go from $1,000 order value to $1,300 order value. And you'd go from, a buying frequency basically of 1 to 1.3 on average. First of all, you would double your business and a little bit more. But more importantly, doesn't this make it a bit more feasible? Like, when I say who wants to double their business, some of you are probably thinking like, theoretically, yeah, that'd be awesome, but like, how the hell do I do that? And it sounds maybe a bit far-fetched. But when you break it down, like who thinks they could go from 10, if you use the same, who thinks they could increase, let's put it this way, those numbers or those areas by 30%? It seems more manageable, right? So that's what I want to focus on here today. How to take each of these areas. And I think for some of you, it's going to be easier to, do the first thing, like getting more customers. Maybe you already have some ideas that you haven't executed on. For some of you, it's going to be, increasing the average order value. For some of you, it's going to be, well, I've got this great idea of how to get people to come back again and buy a second time. It's going to be different. That's why let's go through all of them. And what we'll be doing is kind of brainstorming and then deciding for all of you. I want you to leave the room today knowing full well, like, okay, as far as getting more customers, there's these two things, and I want to do them in the next 12 weeks. For getting, increasing my average order value, there's one thing I want to do. I want to do it in the next 12. Like, that's what I want you to leave with. So, if you break this down even further, if we're talking about an online business, how could you get more customers? Well, you could increase your conversion rate, and you can get more traffic to your website, right? And then we're going to dig even deeper into these two subcategories, and then we'll get to some brainstorming. Thanks, Charlie. So if I were to summarize my own, the stuff that I've been taught by Charlie, number one, find what people are searching for. So this is obviously the free side of getting more traffic. Find what people are searching for, write great content for those words, build links over time, and add your, build links as far as getting links from other blogs, and then you can add your own links. And I'll tell you in a second how I got a couple of links on Wikipedia to my website. But if you break down SEO to the simplest form, this would be it. If you do these two things and nothing else, you're going to be better off than not doing anything. So this would be kind of the free side of getting free traffic. So let me tell you real quick about Wikipedia. Charlie and I have been talking every week. He calls me Backlink Bobby now because I'm getting real good at it. So who would like a link from Wikipedia to their own website? What do you think that does to your website, by the way? If one of the most powerful websites on the internet is sending a link to your website. It's pretty good, right? Can't be bad. Even though it is what's called a no-follow link, I still think it's relevant. So here's what I tried it 3 times. One of them, my link got removed right away. And then I've got 2 other links from Wikipedia. And somebody else has now gone on Wikipedia, on other Wikipedia pages, and started adding my links. So here's how I did it. This is for the Amex article. So let's keep this theme going. I realized in Sweden, there's a Swedish Wikipedia, and there was no Amex Black Card Wikipedia page. I was like, I'll create the page. So that's what I did. I took that Wikipedia page that I created about the Amex Black Card. I wrote a very short paragraph about what it is, linked to American Express's own website. I linked to some, the main American Express Wikipedia page. So it's I'm not just going in there and doing one thing and one thing only, which is adding a link to what's clearly my website. The other editors who've got nothing better to do on Wikipedia, they're going to go in there and remove it because they're, boring people who got nothing better to do than to ruin people's links. But what I did was I wanted to add something else. And this is a strategy that I think you can apply to, you could add it to existing Wikipedia pages and get your links on there. So I had recently watched Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld from Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen it. In that episode I was watching, Jerry Seinfeld is telling the story of he was doing commercials with American Express back in the day. And so Jerry's telling the story about, this is in the 90s, where he's shooting a commercial. The camera guy comes up to him and he's like, do you have the Amex Black Card? And Jerry's like, what's that? He's like, well, it's a really exclusive thing. There's only 3 cards available. The president of American Express has one. The Prince of Brunei has one. And I thought you were the 3rd one. He's like, no, I don't have one. Next day, Jerry Seinfeld calls the president of American Express, says, what's the deal with the black card? He's like, it's a myth, it doesn't exist, but it's a really good idea. And they did it, and they gave the first card to Jerry Seinfeld. I was like, ding, 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 light bulbs going off. That's a really cool story. So I take that story, I add it to my American Express article, then I go to Wikipedia, I add it on Wikipedia, and I reference the story on my blog post. I added some new value to the Wikipedia page, and I was the only reference for the story. So the link is on there, it stayed, and that's a little, tiny little tactic that you can apply to to your own SEO kind of free traffic adventures. Anyways, the other side of getting traffic is advertising. I know there's a lot of guys in this room that are scared shitless of trying it because it feels like it's money leaving your bank account, right? But it's just one of those things that can really propel your business to the next level. So I'm not going to go into details about it. This will be part of the brainstorming. If you're sitting there, some of you guys are already nodding your heads because you know that the next thing for you to do is to start advertising your services. And I've already spoken to some of you, this week. So I just threw some things in here: Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Just some of the platforms where you can do advertising pretty simple. And the cool thing is these days, and you know this already, but back in the day you needed a massive budget. Now you can just choose your own budget. You can get started and you can advertise and count your money. Twitter, hey, nobody uses that. So that's kind of the traffic side. That's some of the ways that you can get more people to your website. What about when they're on your website? How can you actually get more people to buy? The number one thing, if we're talking about big dominoes, that's going to have a big effect. You can find 1,000 things to improve, but if you could only improve one thing and it would dramatically just increase your conversion rates, I would say it's to make a better offer. I mean, that was the case for me. I was running my explainer video business. I don't know how many know this already, but I've spoken about it a lot. I was really struggling with my animated explainer video business because I was charging premium prices and I just kept getting the same feedback, which was, this was a couple of years ago, but companies were like, yeah, love the offer and everything, but it's too expensive. We don't have that budget. And I just kept getting turned down. And the number that I decided on, my price, was completely arbitrary. I could have lowered it by a lot and still made a profit. But I decided, this is the number we're going to go for, blah, blah, blah. And it took me years to finally realize that people are not ready to buy what I'm trying to sell. We'd get a sale every once a month, maybe once every 2 months, 3 months. And then we got Matt Skelcher, who he had just lowered his prices dramatically a year before. And I could see the success that he was having. And I was like, what if I just did what he did, but in Sweden? So me and my partner, Robin, who's not here, but he's also an SSM member, we're like, all right, let's go back to the drawing board. If we were to turn this offer into a fucking amazing offer, what could that look like? How could we still make a profit, but make the offer awesome? First of all, we used to offer a 60-second video, so we went down to 30. And by that little thing alone, we've lowered the cost of entry for a customer. Because the price used to be, let's say, 1,000, and now it's 500. Just as an example. So now all of a sudden, a lot more people can afford to come buy from us. So we came up with, the 30-second, let's make a template version, which costs much less to produce than a custom. And we just came up with this offer. It was 65% cheaper than what it was before. We sent out an email to all the people that had been interested before, but never bought. And we did $20,000 in sales in that first week. And then since then, things have just been so much better for my business because our offer was here and the market was here as far as pricing and willingness to spend. So when we came and met them where they were, boom. So make a better offer, okay? It's gonna be a huge game changer for you. Site speed is one of those things. I would say this is probably more for Jeff, who's an e-commerce guy who's got way more customers than we do, and I think it plays a bigger, it's a bigger component if you have more customers. And I believe Amazon came out and said something like they lose X amount of $1 million a year or week or whatever by 1 second slower website. Do you know the numbers on that, Charlie? But you've heard it, right? It can be hugely important. And if you talk about SEO as well, you got to fix your website. You can't be having these 20-second load times anymore. We can't do that. And I just put SiteGround in there because I recently took all of my websites, moved them over to another hosting company. SiteGround, I can highly recommend. Super cheap. They got 24-hour live chat. What's up?
Does that work with ClickFunnels?
ClickFunnels hosts their own site. So what do you mean? Yeah, but if you are looking to switch, and by the way, they'll give you a free SSL certificate, so you'll get that HTTPS, which is another thing that Google is now looking at. If you don't have a secure site, they don't trust you as much, and you'll struggle with that. So it can be a big thing or a small thing in your business, depends what you're running, but it's something to consider. Another thing that really helps with conversion rates is retargeting. I have a retargeting ad on Facebook with 1400% ROI. You know what it is? It's a slideshow video with 11 testimonials from my customers. I show it to people who visited my website, did not buy. So next time they go on Facebook, they see a slideshow video with all it has is a blue background, some text, and 5 yellow stars. And it just, read it, 11 testimonials, 1400% ROI on that. How many of you are not retargeting? Just so I have an idea. About half the room, I would say. This is one of the easiest ways to get more customers while you're sleeping, by the way. Absolutely, you should be retargeting people. Social proof, of course, testimonials. Somebody sent me a sales page like a year ago or something, and I remember looking at the sales page and like my brain was telling me like, something's off. I don't know what it is, but something's off here. And the more I looked into the page, whatever, I realized it's got no evidence. There's no proof here whatsoever that this stuff works. Talk a good game, but I have no idea if it works or not. So social proof, I say that in terms of probably more about testimonials. And how many of you feel like you could watch 2 testimonials and see which one is paid for on Fiverr and which one is real? Like we're getting more intelligent with the internet all the time. And our customers are too. Like those days I think are over with the buying fake testimonials. Like you can just tell when something's off. So social proof, I mostly am talking about testimonials and having people actually talk about their experience with you and all that. How many of you are asking every customer who had a good experience with you for a testimonial? Not bad, almost half the room. This is one automated email away from getting more testimonials, you know? We automatically send an email with the link to our Google My Business page and say, hey, leave us a testimonial. You could even offer, you know, 50 euro, 500 euro, whatever it is, discount on the next purchase, right? For example, add some type of value to what they already bought in exchange for giving the testimonial. So there's that, and then there's, I think this is less and less effective, but like having 200,000 Facebook likes is like cool, but I don't know if that's still gonna, you know, sway me to buy from you. But definitely testimonials, real ones. Just ask everybody who had a good experience. What's up?
What's the best type of testimonials? Like text, video?
I don't know, but I only have text. I only have text, and there are screenshots from Facebook and Google, so you can see that they're real. And also, I call it testimonial overload. If you've got 20 good testimonials, fucking throw them all on the website. Sam Ovens has 900, or like he's got thousands, I think. Thousands of video testimonials, literally thousands of testimonials. You can be the most skeptical person in the world. When you're watching the 948th testimonial, your skepticism is eventually going to die out, right? Testimonial overload. So undeniable evidence that your shit works. And this one is really cool. I read this in a book. I'll try to get the title for it because I don't remember it. But once I understood these 3 things, my copywriting improved by probably 100x overnight. This is about human behavior stuff. And I'm probably being a bit dramatic saying these are the only 3 things you need to know, but these are fucking powerful. And you will totally agree with me once I explain them to you. People resist unwelcomed attempts to persuade them. Who's ever been approached by a salesman and like they can't, you know they're coming, you can see them in the corner. Whether, you know, I live in Krakow, there's a lot of promoters on the streets like trying to get you into their club or the strip club, whatever, get that all the time. I'm a frequent visitor, so like, you know. But you can see them in the corner of your eye and right away your shield comes up, right? Resisting. You guys can probably relate to this, right? People try to sell you stuff, and it doesn't matter how they open, you can feel it, man. I think somebody posted in our Facebook group the other day where somebody was like, hey, happy birthday, and then he turned it into a sales pitch, right? And we can just sense this stuff. So by the way, all these three things are going to tie together. People resist unwelcome attempts to persuade them. We all agree that's true because we've all been there. People can't resist what they can't detect. Everybody on board with this, right? So far? And by the way, once I tell you the third one, I want to explain to you a theory that I have not yet tested, but I thought about it the other day. I thought it was one of the best ideas I've ever had. I think Matt Skelter is really going to like it because he tends to like this kind of stuff. The last thing, and this is the big one really, people might believe what you say, but they never doubt what they themselves conclude. Meaning, if I'm coming at you, trying to sell you something, first of all, in order to sell you something, you have to have the belief that I want you to have in order to buy. If you want to buy a video from me, you have to believe that a video is going to do something for you. It's going to help you explain what you do so that your visitors go to your website and they're not going to leave, with a big question mark. They're actually going to be able to figure out what you do. For example, that's one of the things that my customers tell me. So in order to have that belief, I have to, inception, right? I have to get that belief into your head one way or another. But if we look at number one, people resist attempts at persuading them. So if I'm trying to sell you something, and if I'm clearly coming at you, trying to incept my beliefs in you that you need in order to make a purchase, it's difficult, right? That's when we face a lot of resistance because I'm a sales guy, right? So you're expecting it from me, so it's really hard. What if, when you're hungry, you have a belief that if I don't eat, I'm gonna die? Is it hard to sell you some food? It's pretty easy, right? So with what we're doing, sometimes, this is specifically more for services and info products. But here's the genius idea that I had. And I haven't tested this out yet, but it makes all the sense in the world. So let's say figure out the belief that you need to have. Maybe we should think of an example. Who's got a business where they know, I basically need my customers to believe this one thing, and if they don't believe this, they will never buy from me? Does anybody have an example where,
Yeah, I once pitched a restaurant about doing internet marketing in general. So they had a very crappy website, so I was pitching not only rebuilding the website, but also doing SEO and creating a strategy to get them more.
So full online marketing package with a website and SEO and.
I suggested them to build the website, but I wouldn't do it myself. I let it clear, but I would take the SEO and especially TripAdvisor comments because they had massive amounts of comments, but nobody left a comment. So I created a few strategies. And at some point he says, "Oh no, I don't believe because we have tried." And I asked,
okay.
I try to persuade them. Are you a specialist? No. So why don't you try someone that actually knows what he's trying?
So perfect example, right? You were trying to sell online marketing, basically. Let's simplify it. Online marketing to a restaurant owner who's tried it before, has a belief that it doesn't work because we've tried it before.
And the final spice was he was convicted that some of the other restaurants were paying people to leave testimonials, which might be true. But at the end of the day, after even before I met the price, after all, he says he let me clear that he only invited me to ask my friends to leave comments for them.
Okay. But let's dig into that. So we've got a restaurant owner who's got a belief that basically makes it impossible to sell to him. What belief would he have needed to have in order to, for you to come in and him basically sell himself on why you should work with him? What belief would have, had him act like that?
Well, if he did a good job in promoting restaurants to his actual clients, especially the ones that were satisfied with the food, which was awesome, by the way.
What about this? What if his belief was, if I don't figure out the online game, I'm going to go out of business in 1 year?
Yeah.
If he believed that, do you think he would buy from you?
Yeah, probably.
You or somebody else. But if you're selling it and you're trying to impose that belief on me, I'm going to resist, right? Especially if it's obvious. Now, what if there was an influencer or an authority that he looked up to, perhaps in the restaurant industry, and he watched a speech by that guy saying, you got to figure out your online game or you're going to run out of business. You're going to be out of business in 1 year. Here's why. I didn't. I ran out of business. Then I got my online shit together. My business exploded. Now I'm doing so well. You're looking at me as the authority. I used to not be, blah, blah, blah. Then it's not you imposing the belief on him. It's coming from somewhere else. So he gets the belief from somewhere else. So when you come there ready to sell, it's like the job's already done because he's already got like the one belief that he needs. Does this make sense, by the way? Is everybody following? Okay, so how can you engineer this? It's actually really easy, at least in theory. I haven't, again, successfully done it. There's this thing on Facebook where what you can do is you can put out a video as an ad, and then you can retarget people based on how much of that video they watched. So let's say you know the restaurant industry, you know there's actually speech out there by a guy that everybody's looking up to. There's a little snippet in there where he talks about you got to figure out the online game or you're going to be out of business in a year. You took that, you turned it into a 2-3 minute, very consumable Facebook video with subtitles that caught their attention in the first 3 seconds. You posted it, not on your Facebook page, on another Facebook page that's not selling anything. You advertise that video to your audience. So you've got 2 Facebook pages, the one where you're trying to sell from and the other one who's just putting out like restaurant content, for example. But you take this one who's trying to sell and you take, the people who watched 95% of this one video and you retarget them with your sales Facebook page. And now when you put the offer in front of them, a little easier. It's like, hot knife through butter, I think, compared to when they're coming at it with the wrong belief.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A little applause even. It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. What's up?
This is kind of what I do with webinars, and we create stories to install that belief.
Yeah.
I like the way how you're doing it with like a third party, so that it's a little bit less salesy, but you can do the same thing with a really well-crafted story. It could be a case study of your client that you could show and like deliver that belief to them and make sure that they believe in that using a story. So,
I agree. I think the trouble is like getting people on a 90-minute webinar is probably getting increasingly difficult. It still works, obviously, and I think this could potentially be a bit of a shortcut to because especially again, if we don't have to fight that resistance, it's going to be easier to instill the belief that we need. But is that a question or are you just stretching?
We have an example where we did that actually.
Okay, awesome. Let's hear it.
So one way that we poach our corporate clients, it's really hard, so first of all, you get into a room and then they're like, what the fuck, and they have the wrong belief. So the corporate client sales cycles are quite long.
Yes.
They're usually
Can everybody hear him, by the way?
A little bit.
No.
A bit higher, louder.
So we talked about it actually with Ryan. Like they're between 6 to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
Sales cycle. So one way that we did was actually Gary Vaynerchuk talked about it. You poach like a marketing manager. This person isn't going to be interested right away. So one of the things that we do is a Facebook ad that targets a specific company and employees at the company.
I saw this video.
Yeah, and then it's like, did your CFO see this or your marketing manager? And that doesn't work completely, but
It gets their attention, right?
It gets the attention, and then what we do, we combine the online with the offline.
Mm-hmm.
And with the offline, what we do is we sponsor specific events where other employees are there as well.
Right.
And so we get in touch with them, and we're like, oh, you work with that person? Well, tell her I said hi. And then it shortened our sales cycle to like 3-6 months.
Yeah, awesome.
6 is 2 years.
I think this can be really powerful. Again, I haven't personally tested this, but like the belief is such a big thing. If people don't have that one belief that they need to have to buy from you, like you're gonna face unlimited resistance, you know. So I think this is a really cool way to do that. Did you guys hear about how Target went to their marketing department, or they went to their stats, the marketing department in Target, you know, the big store in the US, they went to the stats department and they said, hey, can you guys figure out when somebody is pregnant and they haven't told anyone yet? Have you guys heard that? Like a couple of you. Why would they do that? Well, a pregnant person is a great customer. Let me tell you, I've just gone through it, and we got fucking new packages arriving every single day from some new thing that my wife has bought. So here's what they did. They looked at what are the things that people are buying when they're pregnant. I don't know. There's a couple of vitamins and blah, blah, blah. They looked at what are all these things, and they were like, okay, well, if people start buying this, chances are that they're pregnant. So they try it, right? They come up with this model, they figure it out, okay, like if this happens and this happens and this happens, it means they're probably pregnant. Let's start sending them coupons for pregnancy related. Okay, so they start doing this thing. Next thing, like 2 weeks into it, ring, ring, get a little phone call in the marketing department. It's like, some guy's like, why are you sending my teenage daughter pregnancy advertisements? Super pissed off, right? He was pissed off, and they were, you know, apologizing. They were like, ooh, well, like, what have we done here? 2 weeks later, ring, ring. So I'm sorry about, you know, what I said last week. It turns out some things have been happening around my house that I wasn't aware about. They literally figured out how to tell somebody was pregnant and start sending them. Now, the creepy thing was they hadn't told anybody. Target knew, nobody else knew, and they start getting pregnancy stuff in the mail, like not even in the email, like in the post box, right? So what they did was they took like a coupon like pamphlet and they like snuck it in there only for the people that were supposedly or probably pregnant. But you can, like, I'm just kind of trying to go deep here with the idea of like, if you can do this extra little step, that could have a pretty tremendous impact on sales. And I'm really looking forward to personally trying this out. So I will be the next couple of months. Sorry?
Do you happen to know Jamie Oliver's cell phone?
What do you mean? Oh, you want, okay. I get you. I do not, unfortunately. So this is the part where we do a bit of actual work. I would like you guys to take 10 minutes. I've just kind of gone through some examples, right? How can you get more customers? Could you advertise on Facebook? Could you add a retargeting ad? Could you go to that niche website that you know your market spends a lot of time in and try to strike a deal with them to get an advertisement on there? Could you get them to refer you business? There's a billion different things that you could do. Is there anyone here that has zero ideas of what they could do to potentially get more customers? Like if you're totally clueless. Great, awesome. So let's take 10 minutes and just brainstorm. Don't judge your ideas. Maybe they suck, probably most of them will. Just write down every single idea that you have, and then we'll eliminate the bad ones. Okay? So let's do 10 minutes, and then we'll pick up at 4:16. Oh, sorry. Yes. You like that idea? Inception.
The fifth week. The fifth week we had a flash drive, a video. Calm. 6 weeks.
Some more water.
I sent you. I can send you where we're going today.
Oh, please do.
Oh yeah, I did send it to you.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
American jet lag. It's that way. It's like I've been awake all the
Take a 9. You guys get some good ideas?
I have some.
Couple?
But I was confused if those ideas are about getting traffic or customers or other
Yeah, this is great.
I was confused about those are about getting traffic or
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
So, I mean, both of those things, like getting traffic and higher conversion, they're both going to help you get. So, for example, advertise. So, what do you mean locally? You mean like putting up flyers, or?
If I put also the city name in it and maybe advertising agency, Barcelona.
Like a Google AdWords
Yeah.
thing for that? Yeah. So that would be one activity that would get you closer to getting another customer. So that's a perfect example.
All right.
You know.
Awesome.
And then write better often. This would help you increase, you know, the amount of the traffic that came to your site that would actually convert, right? So you got a bit of both here.
Cold calling.
Yeah, so that would be traffic. It's offline, but it's the same idea, right? Getting more exposure.
All right.
So yeah, great stuff. Cool. You guys got some stuff too? Nice, awesome. That looks familiar.
I think he was really good, but
You know what this is? But like Scandinavian, the good shit. Yeah. I might have one later. Thanks, dude. I said portion. Portion. Like not lös. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's a pouch. That's what I just asked him in. Yeah. No, but he's American. He's probably done like their way more dangerous stuff. The dip, you know, the American side where they like this. You can swallow this, like the liquid. Yeah. Like they're American. So the difference is they have like snus in America, but this goes through a heating process where you kill all the harmful bacteria. The American kind goes through like a what's it called? A process where they take the bacteria and basically try to amplify it and make it even more dangerous. Yeah. So that's how they're different.
They have pouches, but they don't just have the leaf.
Oh, like a chewing leaf. All right, we got some good ideas, or does anybody feel completely lost and they got a blank sheet of paper? Did everybody at least get something on paper? Good? Awesome. So I would love to go around the room a little bit, hear some ideas, and probably, like how many things do you have on your list? Like 8, 10, something like that? 4, 5? Awesome. Probably most of your ideas are feasible, but not relevant right now, right? Some of them are garbage, and we should just cross them out. But chances are there's 1 or 2 things that you should take with you and actually implement on. So who would like to share just, you know, your whole list and perhaps 1 or 2 that you feel like, yeah, this is going to be the most, you know, low-hanging fruit. Charlie talked about that. And, you know, this is something that I'm actually going to do. So did you want?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Go ahead, man.
All right, so, I mean,
And tell us what you sell as well.
oh, so I do SEO.
Oh, cool.
All right, and then,
Are you from the Fine-Tune Digital team?
no.
I'm just kidding.
We're competitors. Overseas competitors. So obviously we're SSN, larger email blasts. I think everyone's probably doing that in here, but I figured I'd write it down right away. You know, more content around what I do. So just
Your own blog posts and stuff?
yeah, exactly. The plumbers always got the leaking pipes because they're never paying attention. To
Right.
that.
Sounds familiar.
Go to networking events. I have never done Facebook ads. I think the lowest hanging fruit I have though is I've noticed that there's a lot of remote work job posts,
Okay.
portals, and I would target people that are already looking to hire SEOs and say, hey, you don't
We can do it as an agency.
You can just do an agency. insure me. I have my own tools. You're gonna save half the cost.
Yep.
And it would still be a very healthy margin for me. So that's the lowest hanging fruit that I just thought of right now.
Cool.
And then there's a couple of agencies that are around me that I would approach to work with.
Okay.
And then kind of create a free course. So
To get leads or?
yeah, to get leads. So I've already got a Udemy course that did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Over 1,000 people signed up to it. I figured.
Do you make any money on that, or it's like they take all of it?
No, you make a decent.
Do you?
change.
And they market it for you, I guess, like Amazon would, your book, right? If they're searching for, what you're selling, they'll do the marketing for you, right?
Exactly, and not just that. There's ways to manipulate it if anyone wants to know
Mm-hmm.
the details now. But I hire people to create courses, and then I just put them on there, and then you put out a free coupon, and a bunch of people buy it at once, and then you just skyrocket in the ranking.
Right, okay. Bit of SEO on Udemy, basically.
Pretty much.
Udemy optimization.
Keyword stuff and manipulate
Mm-hmm.
buying and stuff.
Very good. Are those all the ideas you have?
Yeah.
What are you actually going to do out of those?
I'm actually going to kind of find the people that are looking to hire SEO
Remote.
internally,
Yeah, okay.
and
Just contact those people.
figure out their contact info and say, hey, it's cheaper if you just go
Yeah,
with me and you're gonna
love
get
it.
better quality.
Really cool. Awesome. Those are the easiest people to convert, right? The people that are already looking to buy, Awesome. Who else wants to share? Lauritz, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So
What do you sell, first of all? And
web design
Yep.
and sales funnels. Right now I'm primarily sending to interior designers. That's my niche because I had the most luck with those. So I could send more emails, like do more prospecting. Focus on linking to my offer, my sales page for the offer.
linking from where?
Linking from the email.
Okay,
Or
gotcha.
email. And use that for retargeting. I could lower my price to their expectations because I actually have some data saying that they can afford it.
Right.
Kind of like you did,
Yeah. And just on that, I mean, everybody's going to have people who say it's too expensive. So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean everybody should lower the prices. But if you can tell that there's a clear problem there,
Yeah, I just
it
had
might.
a customer like
might help.
days ago who paid me $2,000, couldn't afford the $3,000 one.
Uh-huh.
She wanted the product, but
Yeah.
she couldn't afford $3,000.
Right.
She could afford
2,000. Okay.
So yeah, lower my price to match the expectations or to their needs. I can also then I can upsell, but I don't know. Is this only about getting more customers or getting more money?
That's the next step.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the three I got.
Okay.
And I think I'm actually gonna lower my price because I have a huge profit margin on it. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome. Awesome. Who else? Antal.
Follow up more.
Selling what?
Explainer videos. Yeah.
I mean, I know. I'm just telling it
Yeah.
for them.
No, I'm just like my main thing is like follow up. Elsewise, just linking up with more people.
Okay. You mean like you get emails and then you don't follow up, or you don't do any retargeting or nothing?
I do most of my sales or my first contact in person through like networking or whatever.
Okay. And then you don't follow up with
And
them.
then I often don't follow up or I have like a big list of
Gotcha.
people I should follow up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I take your idea with the retargeting ads. That's awesome.
You're not retargeting?
I do, but I don't use any customer feedback. That's a brilliant idea.
Okay. Yeah. Another good one I have is, so I was telling before, the slideshow testimonial video does really well. Another thing I had was I just made a video, like talking head like this, where I'm talking about 5 ways that you can use video to grow your business. That one's got an 800% ROI. So that's also pretty good. Awesome. Well, let's do one more. Go ahead, man.
I also do animated explainer videos, and last year I was doing a email marketing campaign, and I got some, some sales and stuff, but also some leads that indicated some interest. And I followed up by email.
Yeah.
But it kind of went to nowhere.
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And like 2 months ago or so, I was thinking like, why do I never call those guys?
Yeah.
Right? Because email is always easier for us because there's no like bad reactions to it. And then I was like, fuck it, either he's gonna do it or not.
Right.
And I was calling.
Like, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Exactly, yeah. And I was calling this guy, and he said, yeah, absolutely. I'm actually what you're offering that would be really valuable to a lot of startups that I work with. And he hooked me up with 3 different startups, and one of them just got my customer. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Really good.
What I want to say is like, don't only follow up with
email,
but
right?
also by phone.
Cool. What's on your list as well for?
And I was the Facebook retargeting.
Okay.
I never did that before, so.
What about Google? Are you doing Google retargeting?
No, I was doing Google AdWords, but no.
No retargeting. Okay, that's another.
Yeah.
That works too. Yeah.
I was thinking like, how easy is it to implement with the GDPR regulations?
Retargeting?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with it, does it?
Just put it in your like privacy policy.
Yeah. That you're doing. It's like, but honestly, that hasn't changed because we're talking about cookies. You were supposed to have cookie consent before as well. So I don't think that's changed at all.
Yeah, it's gonna change next year with the
You're talking about uploading the list and retargeting that way? Discuss more. But with retargeting or not? Retargeting like
No, visitors.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have GDPR, if you need a GDPR consultant, he's 16 grand an hour.
Google, to Facebook, etc. This is pretty much the new loophole that like everybody who got like really busted by GDPR, they use that anonymous data and upload the SHA-256 hash value, an email address, phone number, whatever, and still retarget that way. Or
Okay.
still custom audience, but create a single audience after that.
There you go. Anything else on your list?
Yeah, put out content. Like,
Okay.
That's also something I
Yep.
definitely.
Cool. Sweet. Awesome. So hopefully everybody's got at least one or two things that you can take with you and actually implement. So I would even make a little like 12-week, here's what I'm going to implement in the next 12 weeks. And just start adding bullet points, not just from what we're doing right now, but with all the speakers. I find that that's pretty helpful. Like, because you come to these things, right? You take notes, and then I don't know about you, but my notes are like every page is different structure, and there's like nuggets here and like paragraphs here, and just have a little list of like, okay, these are the actual few things that I'm gonna take with me and implement. What's up?
Do you have like a longer list? Do you have like a recommendation of how many things we should focus on at once?
It's hard to say. Some of them are really small, but I think it's kind of intuition, right? Like you can look at a list and go like, this is too much, or that's too little, but it's pretty hard to say, I would say. But focus on, the big domino ones, so what's gonna have the most effect, and especially if it's like a low-hanging fruit type of thing. So, cool, awesome. You guys ready to move on to the next thing that's gonna help you double your business? So, get customers to buy more. This, by the way, if you've already got a bit of momentum, if you've got no customers, this is basically not going to add anything to your business. If you've got some momentum, you're getting 1 client a month, 2 clients a month, 10 customers a day, like this is going to be the easiest way for you to add more revenue and profit to your business. Because they've already bought from you at this point. Now we're just selling them the Coke and the fries, right? They bought the Big Mac. The Coke and the fries are extra profit. It's also like the iceberg analogy. You've heard it 16 billion times from marketers. But when you take a business, the stuff that you can see above the surface, that's where most people stop trying. They don't do this. When all the profit comes on, in many businesses, most of the profit comes from the bottom of the iceberg, right? The stuff on the back end that you can't see. Did you guys know that, Best Buy? Does anybody here not know what Best Buy is? Did you know that Best Buy makes half of their profits on warranties? We're talking $600 million a year, I think. Now, what does that tell you? Like, at a certain point, they were not offering warranties probably, and they were making way less money than they are now. You add a warranty, and they double their profit. It's pretty cool. So one way, like, the question here is basically like, what else can we offer people? So one thing you can do is faster results. If you're doing Shopify, you could do, if possible, I know drop shipping, it's a little difficult sometimes, but you could do expedited shipping. You could do insured shipping, which is something that I've recommended and one of my Shopify clients implemented it, and he added $1 profit per customer for a 10-minute gig. He took 10 minutes to add another shipping option that was called insured shipping, which is basically like, I don't know, if their package gets lost, he'll replace it or something. He added $1 profit per customer, and he has 900 customers a month. So he added $1,000 profit from 10 minutes of work. Every month, by the way. Delivery. Video guys, web design guys, would you like us to put us in the front of the line? I charge, what are we charging for that now? About $300 to skip the line. No cost to skip the line, for me, right? Cost me nothing to put them in the front of the line. $300 more profit from one customer.
Wait, what do you mean by put them in the front?
Sorry?
Well, I lost you when you said you put them in the front. What do you mean by that?
If I've got 10 customers, you'd have to wait till it's your turn. But if you pay extra, we'll put you in the front of the line and we'll start your project now rather than a week from now. So they'll get their video faster.
So it's an extra cost they have to pay though, right?
Yeah, they pay $300 for it, and it costs me nothing to put them in the front of the line. Yeah. Insurance and warranty. We talked about Best Buy. Insured shipping, spoke about that, right? These are little things that you can add. Of course, we've all got different businesses, right? Some of the things that, like, what am I going to offer a warranty on your video? I mean, that's a little, hard. But one thing I can offer, I don't know if this is in here. Let me run through the list and then we'll see. Okay, so complementary add-ons. So what else? I might have misspelled that, complementary, doesn't matter. What are some of the add-ons that you can offer? So if I'm selling videos, well, first of all, if you watch a video on Facebook, has anybody here watched like a 5-minute video on Facebook completely on mute without sound? I've done that. 90% in my own data, 90% of Facebook videos are watched on mute. So what does that tell me? My customers don't know that, but if I tell them that, all of a sudden there's a huge demand to get subtitles for your video. Hey, let's charge for that. And let's offer it to everybody. Let's not wait for them to come and ask us for it. Let's offer it to everybody and make it easy to tick that box and purchase that as well. Another thing we had is we make videos and clients are like, we're going to make a PowerPoint presentation. Can I get the graphics from the video and put them into my presentation? Sure, $100 and we'll do that. And we offer it to everybody. Exposure. If I'm selling videos, you know what happens to me a lot, and all the explainer video guys can relate to this? Somebody comes to us, they buy a video, we produce the video, we teach them how to upload it to YouTube, and 1 year later, I'm doing something and I'm going through all the clients and stuff, and I'm visiting their website, and their video is not on their homepage, and I do some research and I find their video and it's got 2 views on YouTube. One of them being mine. So they're buying the video, but they're not getting exposure for it. What if I started offering a service where I give you 1,000 guaranteed views from your audience, and I charge a set amount for that? And I take this video, I go to Facebook, I upload their video from my animation company Facebook page, and I say, this company's doing da-da-da, super cool. I do the targeting, bam, set it up, and I see exactly how many views it has. And once we've reached 1,000 or the 2,000 or the 5,000 or the 10,000 views that they bought from us, I pause the ad and I take the spread of the cost that it cost me to advertise the video and what the client paid me, Massive value add too, right? Because they went from 2 views to 1,002. Upsells. If I'm offering a video, what if I also offered to take that video, put it on a landing page, add a little email subscription thing, write 4 emails for them, put a thank you page, create a sales page, a checkout, everything, advertise the whole funnel for them for 10 times as much as they originally spent. Most people going to buy that? Absolutely not. If one person buys it a month, huge change over the long term for that business, right? I think that might have been the last one. Yeah. So I might just leave this up. And I want you guys to, is any of this unclear, by the way? pretty self-explanatory. Again, this is the easiest way to put more money in your pocket. So I would like to take another 10 minutes, write some ideas down for how this fits into your business. Can you add, if you're doing Shopify, you should be adding insured shipping, lifetime warranty, subscription program. If you're offering websites, you should absolutely have a subscription program where they get free changes every month to their website. Because how many website clients come back and want changes, Steve? All of them?
Pretty much none.
They don't want any changes? Okay, good.
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends, but.
Because I had that when I was selling websites.
Yeah.
A lot of them wanted update this text, or we're adding this thing.
Initially they wanted, but after like a year, typically you won't hear from them.
Okay, that's good. But I used to see that as a problem. Now I realize that's an opportunity. That's them paying me $100 a month, and we'll actually take care of whatever changes you need, given they're within certain parameters. Question?
No, like a comment to the website thing.
Yep.
I personally have like a yearly maintenance fee.
Yeah.
That I update the WordPress, update all the plugins.
Okay, love it.
Like
Perfect.
Half an hour. It's 300 euros per year, and I do that for 3 clients right now. And it's like
Free money, right?
yeah. Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. So let's take 10 minutes, see how this applies to your business. Write down all your ideas, don't judge them, and then we can come back and take a look at some ideas, and you might be inspired by some of the other answers as well. And let's do that. I'll just leave this up here so you can, if you need ideas.
Ollie, is that a question?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like, get customers to buy more? You mean you...
I just got a client, by the way, just so this hashtag we are SSM.
Well, when you say get customers to buy more, you mean ways how I can charge them more or bring so much value that when they're on my page, they just want to buy? For example,
No, what are you selling?
service, copywriting.
Copywriting.
So for example, I wrote unlimited revisions.
Okay.
So for me, I thought that would be free because then that would allow them to then buy the pack or buy the service. But now, from your examples, I feel like that unlimited revisions would probably be an extra charge if I wanted to buy more. So I'm kind of stuck there. What do you mean by?
I mean, for example, what are they buying before and after, and what should they be buying before and after? For example, somebody needs to take your copywriting and upload it to their website. What if that was an add-on that you offered? I'll take the copywriting that I did, I'll upload it to your website, I will format it with all the you see how there's a value add there?
Yeah.
If you really think about it, unlimited revisions is a problem for you and it's a problem for them, right? It's not really a massive value add. You know what I mean? So it's like, but what else is there? Maybe they wanted a video sales letter with the same copy in a video format. You go hire a voiceover artist, they record it, and you make the slides or whatever. That's like a value add-on, an extra thing. You go buy a Big Mac. Hey, do you want Coke and fries with that? Yes.
Okay, so an add-on that we both kind of benefit. Okay, that's even right.
Yeah. So I mean, you benefit in the sense that you make more money. They benefit in yes, I also want this thing that you offered.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
It's a bad idea.
That's what
I just do two rounds of revision.
Let's get a $6,000 client just on stage. Can't complain.
flicks those over on your table. Oh, okay.
Got some good ideas flowing? Actually, can I?
Sure.
My man. Truth.
Nice.
There's not really
What
a
business
lot.
is that for? The video business?
What was what for?
The sale you just got?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Somebody else will do the work, so. Dude, how good is the Apple Pencil? I love it, man. I use it every day. I use it every day.
It's my first time that I use this app called Notability. It's freaking awesome.
Okay. You know the Notes app you can draw?
Yep.
I do that.
I did this with
You can put pictures and... Oh, that's cool. So what's the name of the app?
Notability, I believe.
Notability, okay.
And I can record audio too.
Very cool.
I'm super happy.
Yeah, I love my pencil, using it a lot.
One question to the exposure. You said that
Yes.
you set up basically Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Okay, but not from your account, your business account?
No, I do.
That-
I do, yeah. But I was talking about the whole idea of like incepting a belief into somebody. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like if I need you to believe something to buy from me,
Yeah.
I was saying you will face less resistance if that belief is coming from somewhere else. Yeah, so that's why I was talking about like doing it from another page.
Yeah.
If I'm selling videos, for example, it's coming straight from my video page. You know.
No, I mean you're basically selling the exposure, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, exactly. So I will advertise their video from my page.
From your page.
Yeah.
Your
So it
page.
benefits
Yeah,
me
yeah,
too, right? On the client's dime. So.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple people take us up on that, like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Because I added it recently, but honestly, everyone should take it because none of them know what they're doing. They're not advertising their videos. They're not getting exposure. Everyone should take it. Less people than I expected are taking it, but yeah, some are. So.
So because I've no experience about Facebook ads at all.
Okay.
So how do you price? Like,
You do a test. You run a test.
Yeah.
So you advertise one of your videos and you figure out what's it going to cost me,
Yeah.
and then you base it off of that. You add your spread, on top of that, and then that's how you set the price.
That's roughly going to be the same cost for different audiences?
No, it'll be different, but the way I see it is the most expensive audience you'll have is other business owners.
Yeah.
So if you do targeting like small business owner, is a Facebook page admin, and you target those people in your test, that's going to be the highest cost you'll ever have. So you base it off of that, and then if you go, if you're offering, if you're running a video towards people who just had a baby, it's going to be way lower. Or actually, maybe since that's such a desirable market, that might actually be. But you see what I'm saying? It's like when you reach the masses, it's cheaper.
Okay.
But when you reach the small business owners, they've got money to invest, they're intelligent, they're the most expensive people. Yeah. All right, guys, I can tell by the volume in this room that everybody's ready. So let's get back into it. Who wants to share some of their ideas of how to sell more stuff to people? George. Come on, guys, let's tone it down. All right, thank you.
My service is kind of a hybrid between done with you and done for you.
Yep.
So once my delivery system is built out, I can actually offer everything, like all the templates and stuff in the done with you program. As actually we can do that for them as an add-on.
Perfect. So you offer the slides or whatever, and then you say, I can do it for you, and it costs extra.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then basically to make the service like a car, so we could sell a guaranteed result and double the price of the actual system.
If you can deliver on a guaranteed result, that's the best thing you could offer.
Exactly,
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And then number 2, self-funnel legal insurance. So a lot of people just don't really think about their legal like the actual legal stuff on the legal pages, right? You actually have to look at that and get it correct. So you could sell that as an add-on as well. So
Love it. Really outside the box thinking, but crucial. Like, awesome. I love that. Anything else?
Just basically all the add-ons. I've got like 10 different add-ons based on all the templates I've got. I can actually say, hey look, I've got you the template, we can actually use that for you.
And actually, you bring up a good point, because I didn't put this on here, but if you're offering a do-it-yourself service or a do-it-yourself thing, the done for you is the upsell, right? Here are the slides. I can prepare them for you if you pay $6 billion. Just no problem.
What's his business again?
You do webinars and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Funnels and
like a product launch webinar agency. So
advertising, webinar, everything. Yeah. Awesome.
White labeling services. So
what do you sell and everything?
I sell architectural renderings, basically 3D images of buildings before they're built. My clients are architects who work for developers, right? So they can do them in-house if they want to, and generally they do. Or they can go with us and we can deliver to them cheaper, but at the very bottom corner, we usually put rendered by Growth Media. For $85, you can take that off. And of course they do, because they want to pretend that they did it in-house to their clients.
We could do that with videos too. If we had a hard-coded, this video was done by my company, yeah, we can remove it for $7 billion. Yeah.
There's a lot of cross-sells in that stage, because you can do 3D walkthroughs, so this building, once it's rendered, the model is done, right? And you just, with the program, scroll your camera into it, and that's the walkthrough portion of it. Yeah, that's super easy. That costs us nothing.
You bring up a really good point too that is another thing that I forgot here. It's like, I was saying before, what are people buying before they get to you and what are they buying after? If I'm selling a website, the next thing they're gonna need is SEO. I might not wanna do SEO, maybe I do, and if so, then that's the upsell. If not, I'll send a lead to Joey or Charlie, they'll battle it out, and you'll get a finder's fee, So think about that too, like what are they doing before and after they get to us, and what makes sense there. All right, who else wants to share? Somebody over there, maybe? Maybe Ben? Maybe. Go ahead, Ben.
I can go.
Awesome.
Yeah, basically just a bunch of upsells as well.
What are you selling?
Videos?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Ben actually just gave me the idea of selling a 4K video version.
Okay.
That's something I haven't been selling before. I was already doing the subtitles and the Instagram version. And
that's a really good one.
And yeah, I basically just jotted down what you mentioned about possibly advertising their video on
Perfect.
to get them views and so on.
Awesome.
And possibly creating a landing page and so on.
I tried to sell something as well. I didn't give it a full try, but the other thing that I was telling you guys, I've got retargeting ads. If we are making videos, like we could make the retargeting videos as an upsell as well. You just bought this video that's a promo for your company. I could also make you a slideshow testimonial video. If you've got the testimonials, we'll put the video together. And here's why you need that. I've got 1,400% ROI on this. So why don't we do that for you guys? And we can advertise it, Really cool. All right, who else wants to share? Tulio.
Yeah, actually retargeting existing clients. There is also already something that I do after I have a successful client. I ask them if they know someone else that would need the same kind of...
Like a referral type of thing? Yep, perfect.
Also on increasing the amount they buy is to follow up like 6 months after. Oh, are you still satisfied? Is there anything else?
Yeah, so that's the next step, which is like how do you get them to come back and buy more, or buy again rather, but completely like it's very much related. So
yeah, another one was I think what someone else just I think it was you that mentioned is to ask them if they need some other service that I don't offer but I could refer to and ask for a referral, and offer consulting on how to improve something else that is related to what I do and would increase the results they have with what I sell. So for example, a couple months ago I had a prospect that wanted to make a series of deals for their products, and as we went through in the negotiations they revealed, okay, I just need to go back to the factory because we're having they were expanding the factory, and I was, okay, well, so you're expanding the factory because you need to, oh no, we are selling all we could, so we need to expand the factory. And then I asked, oh, so why do you want to do these things now? And followed by 3 seconds, and then I oh, and then as so he was willing to advertise, but he didn't have the structure to increase his sales. So what we did was I'm supposed to follow up in October, which is when the expansion would be ready. But then I also offered, because I know someone that was in the business and can have some logistic advice, to provide them with some advice with,
cool.
that I can market through my company.
Awesome.
Yeah, so.
Great stuff. Cool. Anybody else? Some other things to offer? Go ahead, man. So you sell copywriting.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna, to, I guess, make it more variety. Obviously, if I get an email campaign, I would offer the proofreading or revision of his landing page. And I'm going back and forth, right? Let's say I'm doing a landing page, I would also offer an email sequence to that
Absolutely, perfect.
Doesn't have one.
Yeah.
So I would do anything, like you said, before and after, or kind of get my mind in that customer's shoes and see why the hell do I need a copywriter in the first place, and where else does copy fit? So
exactly.
ads is another one.
Yeah.
I can offer to write his ads
yeah.
as well.
Like if you're only writing, landing page copy, then totally. Like, okay, we'll offer the ads, the emails, everything that comes after that.
So it's like a package basically.
Yeah. And especially when you can educate them on the fact that maybe they don't have an email series, and you can prove that if you do, you're going to get X higher conversions. So,
Yeah, like that's like a little bit later. I know I'm just starting. Like
yeah.
For me, when I get back to after the SSM, I'm in the phase of getting customers.
Yeah.
So
that's step one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
totally.
But I
Yeah.
just wanted to share it. Right?
Awesome. Good stuff. Cool. By the way, guys, a really good way to think about this is, what are some of your customers already asking you for? Because the way I came up with the subtitles offer was like 5 customers over the period of 4 years or whatever asked me for it. And I was like, you're an idiot for not taking that they're already asking for and offering it to everybody, So that's like the number one place to start is, what are those add-ons or whatever that people have already asked you for, and can you start offering that to everybody? Cool, let's do one more maybe, because I like this. I think it's very beneficial for everybody. It's inspiring as well to like get some more examples. So, Steve?
Yeah, for like a website, hosting, which you can white label too.
Yep.
Website changes, which you talked about. Like PPC management / landing pages, kind of go together.
Yep, totally.
And then a big one for me is like logo design and then business cards. So you can just, do that for them for like a new business.
Yep.
Just Vistaprint that. That's pretty
So you're selling one thing, and then you can offer like a whole package as an upsell. It's like, well, you get the business cards, you get the AdWords, like everything. Makes a lot of sense. And Charlie, maybe you know this. I think I wrote you about it the other day. I just found out about it because I don't remember what it's called. It's a Google service where you can see, based on historic data, what people were Googling before or after, and you can choose the time frame. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's actually something, because it's not Google Trends, is it?
No, it's something different.
Google Correlate, that's the one.
Yes, sir. Google Correlate, you can go in there, you can put in web design agency, and then you can put, what are people that are Googling web design agency Googling 4 weeks after they Google web design agency. Now, well, we'll be honest, the data was not like fantastic, but for some of you, there might be some ideas there. And I think Facebook ads, because I remember doing that one, I put in SEO. I never told you. I put in SEO, and then I looked at what are people who are looking for an SEO agency Googling 2 weeks later. Facebook ads was one of the, and you can see the correlation of like, how likely are they to Google Facebook ads if they Googled SEO agency 2 weeks ago. Awesome. Everybody got some ideas and some stuff to implement on that front? Really cool. So let's wrap up with the last one. Get customers to come back more often. And I just spoke on this briefly just now, but if you want somebody to have an idea, why are you walking around waiting for them to have that idea when you could just present that idea to them? I forget who just said it about, it was Tulio, right? About sending an email 6 months later or whatever, asking, hey, do you need another one? So what I do is I use Trello for the internal kind of communication with my team. So I've got, does anybody not know what Trello is, by the way? Okay, great. So I've got different lists. It's like, okay, they placed an order. We started the project. The script is finished. The animation is in progress. And the video has been delivered. And we take their card and we move it into those different stages. And then I hook that up to Zapier. So when we take somebody's card in Trello and put it into the video delivered list, now Trello knows that that project is finished. Zapier then takes their email address, throws them into an email campaign that the next day sends out an email that says, first of all, thank you so much for working with us. Number 2, here's the link to our Google My page. If you put a review up there, we'll give you a discount or whatever. And 4 weeks after that, they get an email saying, hey, we just delivered your video 4 weeks ago. How's it going? And the reason for that email is to start the conversation again of maybe you need another video. And I can't tell you how many times that email has gone out, and it's completely automated. And I get a response that says, video's going great, and we were talking about making 3 more videos. Do you have time for a call? Happens all the time. And that's automated. I set that up once, and I haven't touched it since. And it's bringing in more business, and I do nothing, right? So how can you get customers to come back more often? Mostly, it's going to come down to, first of all, having an idea, like having another offer. In my case, it's just like, do you want more videos? We just talked about like what else can you offer. So if you come up with the idea that, yes, we do sell copywriting, and then maybe I want to offer Facebook ads to those people, that would be an example of something that I could bring up in an email that goes out automatically 2 weeks later to get them to come back and either buy the same thing again or buy that, that other package or whatever. So the whole idea here really is to follow up with people and have an offer. Another video, Facebook ads, like whatever it might be, right? So let me see if I have some, Follow-up. That's what this comes down to. You can do an email autoresponder. I just gave you the example. You can retarget people. If you're using the technology the way that I'm using it, you can have things like Trello let your software know where that customer is in your pipeline. And then you can use that to retarget them, whether through email, through retargeting ads, or a phone call follow-up would probably be the best thing, right? It depends on your business, but who is already doing this on some level? Very good. So you guys want to just share some examples of how you are trying to get people, they've done a purchase, they've gotten their thing, how are you trying to get them to come back? Can we have some examples?
Yeah, 5 days later I sent them an email with a link to a survey.
What are you selling, by the way?
I help animation studios with the production.
Okay.
Service.
Yep.
And then when they do the survey, I give them some free credits so I can use it again, my service, and then they come back and usually spend more than they get for free, and then get more business.
Do you have any idea how much more business that's bringing in? Do you know?
Not from the top of my head, but I do track everything, so I could find it.
But it's free money, right? Again, you set it up once.
I get valuable feedback as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Really good example. Did you have something, Loba?
Yeah. We throw an event every 3 months, and then we come back to the clients that didn't respond, and we say, hey, if you buy a video, you also get to sponsor this event for free. And they get all this added value.
Yep. Really cool. Any more examples? There were a lot of hands over here. Any more examples of how you're using technology to get people to come back and buy a second time or a third time? Okay, no worries. Let's take then 10 minutes or 5 minutes, because this one is a bit shorter, to think about what could you actually be doing. I just gave you an example of how we're doing it. So what could you do? And the answer is pretty much here, but how specifically does this fit into your business? How could you follow up with them? What would the offer be? We just talked about that in the last one, but how could you use this to try to get people to come back? Let's take 5 minutes, jot down some ideas of how you could implement this to try to get people to come back and buy again after they've already bought from you. What's up, man?
I have an idea for your business.
Okay.
It's, there's services where they can make letters that look handwritten, and so you can send that as a thank you.
Yeah, I've never implemented that, but I like that a lot because that could be automated, but it's got like a nice touch. Yeah.
To get reviews, because I think, like you were talking about, getting more testimonials.
Yeah. Is that something you haven't done?
I think my conversion rate is low because I don't have hundreds of reviews.
Okay.
Like if I were buying from the site and there were 0 reviews, I'd be.
You'd be skeptical.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like for certain products, because we have a lot of products.
And you could just offer them a discount on the next purchase, and it's kind of like 2 birds in 1 stone. You get a review, plus they come back and buy again.
Yeah, through direct mail, the coupon is.
Yeah.
So.
That's perfect. Really good. Awesome.
How you'll be able to track the return though, for that.
You can have a specific coupon code for those people, you know? Kayla, I'm about to wrap here. Is there any admin stuff that I should mention, or?
Just let them know that.
Like what time is it tomorrow?
Coffee and stuff again at 9:30.
9:30.
Coffee at 10.
Okay, so like
And
today,
then-
right?
Yeah. So today people came at like 9.
Mhm.
So tomorrow, yeah, just between 9:30 and 10.
Okay.
Here.
Does Tim want to wrap anything up today, or where is he? Do you know? I can go find him. Typing pretty aggressively there, man. Just getting work done.
With your referral scheme, how to make it really simple? So if let's say I said to my customer, hey, if you refer someone to us, we'll give you $500.
Yep.
How to make that like simple
To execute on?
Yeah, to execute. All right.
So here's what you do. There's a way that you can send out an automated email with a link. If they click the link, it opens up a new email with a pre-written template email.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They just put in their friend's name or their email address, change the name, and send it off.
To their friend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay.
If you remind me, I'll try to help you find like the service that helps you create the link, because it's like kind of tech weird.
Okay. And then when the payment comes through, when you do close them or whatever, the payment comes through, then you can go, okay, at the end of the month, Jack, whoever it might be, gets sent an extra 500.
Yeah, or like, yeah, exactly. That's a little trickier, right, to pay them. How do you charge people? Do you just send them a PayPal link or that kind of thing?
We've got a Stripe, like a payment page.
Okay. Could you add a field where it says like, did somebody refer you? Or,
Yeah.
I would do something like
Yeah,
that,
just
you
do
know?
that. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
and that should do it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Awesome.
And we're going to be doing this in 6 months too.
Do you want to say anything before we wrap? Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll put you up there in a second. Awesome. All right, guys, is anybody not done with this last piece of the puzzle? All right, great. So let's wrap up today. We'll just do one more. You know, let's go around the room. If anybody has some ideas of how they're going to execute on this and how it specifically works in your business, let's get some hands in the air and let's hear some ideas. Antal.
So I think I brought it up in Facebook earlier this year.
Okay.
I created an Excel spreadsheet that gets all the view data from like YouTube, and I check it every now and then. If I see a video does really well or reached a certain threshold, I just send them an email. Hey, congrats that you made this many views.
Okay, so you're talking about like you uploading the video from your client to your account and then looking at the data from there?
I have an Excel spreadsheet that catches the data
From their upload?
Yeah, like YouTube view content.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I say just congrats, you did really well. And
That's awesome.
what else could I offer?
Exactly. That's starting the conversation again, right? That's really cool. I like that. Really out of the box thinking.
Yeah, and then offering an incredible offer that maybe I like retainer, which is the best.
And another thing is like if somebody didn't reach that threshold, you could have an automated email saying, hey, I saw you uploaded your video. You don't even have 500 views yet. You're a loser. Let me help you. You know? Who else got some Is that a hand? Okay. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, what we do is, if a client didn't buy the upsells for the video in the beginning, we just send them like a bundle pack where they can kind of get all the upsells together for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Just like an extra, and then also just the automatic follow-up like a few weeks later saying,
Is that an email that goes out offering the?
We just pop them into another like email sequence. once
Perfect.
their project's finished.
That's really cool. And another thing's like he was saying, you know, he offers the add-ons or the upsells and they don't take it. So the other thing is I use Basecamp for project management. So I've got their attention for 5 weeks now. They're in Basecamp and they're like, why wouldn't I put ads in there for our services? So inside of Basecamp, I've got threads saying, do you need an extra language? Do you need the subtitles? So there's a kind of second try there to try to get them to take the add-ons that they might not have wanted in the first place. Maybe they want it later. So that's a good little add-on there. Cool. Any other ways to try to get people to come back to buy again? In the back.
So one of the things I did this week is when I studied web design stuff. So normally I try to sell my looking at the kind of maintenance plan when I launch the website, and then some people they do. Sometimes people don't do that. So this week, like I emailed this client that I built this site a few months ago and said, you know, I know you didn't do that at the time, but you could do the plugin update, you know, software update, fancy doing it, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So sort that for like £30. It's only small, but it's just like little bits and pieces.
It's a lot better than nothing.
Yeah, and then I don't know if anyone else does this, but like another little hack that I do is I set up like a Google alert for the client name and also prospects in particular. So that if they get some sweet press coverage, I'll get a Google alert about it and I'll send them an email saying like, oh, I noticed you got this stuff. Yeah, we got this features recently. It's really nice.
Awesome. Cool. Sweet. Anybody else who wants to share some ideas on how to get customers to come back and buy again?
You can get their birthday and then send them a happy birthday email or some sort of message or direct mail. And then don't sell them anything.
Yeah, right. At least not in the same email. Wait like 2 minutes and then send the. That's cool. And then you just told me some other stuff like how to implement this in e-com. Actually share that because that was really smart.
So after they purchase, then you can send them a direct. There's services online where you can have something look handwritten, but it's really a template and it direct mails to them. And so the idea is to have different points of contact rather than just email, because email has a low open rate.
Yeah.
So if you increase the points of contact, so there's Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, direct mail, email, Facebook ads, YouTube, desktop notifications,
right,
and Google Ads. So by increasing that and then also getting to them to spread that seed to other platforms, like getting their information on other platforms, then you can target them in lots of more colorful ways.
Yeah, and so the example you gave me was really cool too. So like, let's say they got, he runs an e-com store. So let's say somebody buys something from him. He's got their address. So what if they got a physical letter that said, hey, thank you so much for buying. If you write a review, we'll give you a discount or whatever. And he could have a specific kind of coupon code to kind of track, how well is this doing. But that would be, a win-win because he would get a review for his product, plus he would, get a second purchase if they use the coupon code. So kind of 2 birds in 1 stone there. Awesome. So unless anybody else wants to share, I think this is a good time to wrap this up. And I will take a moment to take some biggest takeaways, specifically from this little thing we just did. So let's do another thing of, raise your hand and share what was it could be just one thing, 2 things, whatever. Who's got some kind of main takeaways from just going through this very simple but really effective exercise to double your business? Who wants to share something? Great.
I just like how it's very systematic and organized way of going through it instead of like, oh, I'll do some SEO, then I'll try and optimize my website, and sort of all over the place. But
right.
It's sort of like logical step by step and just makes sense.
And you can just revisit this exercise, every 6 months or something like that. And I mean, it's so simple. I heard about it once, and then I just remembered those questions that I could ask myself, like, how can I get more customers? How can I increase my average order value? How can I get them to come back more often? I can do that exercise on a plane, like anywhere. So yes, awesome feedback or kind of takeaway there. It's like how systematic it is. Who else got a takeaway from doing this exercise? Sander.
I really like your idea of having a retargeting video on Facebook with the slideshow.
Testimonials.
Great idea, yeah.
That works pretty well, so awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so you mentioned about like the 3 things you need to know about persuasion. I thought that was really important.
Yeah, it's a nice little insight to human behavior, right? All right, so I'll take any other questions that are related to what we just did. If anybody has anything, this would be the time to ask if it's something I can help with. Otherwise, we were going to wrap up today. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
go
ahead. So after doing the how to get more customers exercise,
Yep.
knowing what price to match their expectations or their wallets.
Yep.
I'm wondering, would it be better to have one offer, like there's going to be something on Sunday about having one offer? Is it better to have one offer including everything, or tear it apart, like all the elements, all the features? So to have a like lower entry point, to get them in the door and then upsell them like hell.
Exactly. So you should have an idea of a whole package, and then you should take a part of that package and offer that on the front end to exactly get people in the door, and then you can offer all those, the rest of the package basically.
That's what I'm going to do then.
Awesome. Joey.
This is part of the inception thing. So you said that you're going to go out of business if you don't do this
Right.
in a year. Part of the problem I have with selling SEO
Mhm.
is that people are doing too well, and I tell them, hey, I'm going to get you 30, 40, 50 leads a month. They're like, I can't handle that. Right?
Okay.
Do you just kind of toss it and forget about those people, or how do you put that fear into those people? Because those are the people I want, because they have the money to pay for SEO services.
So what's the question? I didn't get the question. Like how do
put fear into someone
that's already
they're
killing
already
it?
doing well.
Well, look, man, maybe you need to change your message. Maybe you're attracting the wrong people in your messaging.
There's countless companies that got money that aren't got terrible SEO, probably because messaging trying to be the right people. We found our biggest client was spending a small fortune, and their SEO is dire. So it just might be a little. I don't.
Yeah, honestly, I've ran into it like 4 times. You're like, I can't handle that. Like, there's no way I can handle that.
Yeah, so maybe the messaging needs to change, because if you're saying I'll give you something that they don't want, then that's a problem, right? So maybe there's a way to tweak that in a way that it is desirable,
Are they blanketing page number 1?
No, so they're not. But like
So they don't want any more customers.
Yeah, they don't like they don't want.
They're okay that their competitor is like right after them.
Well, they don't care about their competition. It's like the last 4 people I've.
Well, that's the pain point that you can narrow into.
Oh, okay.
Like, for example, I had clients who were like ranking really well and stuff, and then all of a sudden they were like, well, the competitor is catching up on here and there, like, you gotta make him disappear from the first page, because like, particularly a situation where they were, I don't know, on average 150, and their competitor is sitting on the same street and address 160. Like, people driving in this direction from the car, like, where are they stopping at? Place number 1 or place number 2?
Is this current clients or prospective?
Perspective. So
Okay.
it's tough because like then they ask, why do I want to rank number 1? It always boils down to.
Okay, so it's a long term.
Yeah.
More a long term thing.
Yeah, so you might need a different offer for those people,
Joey's automation service.
For example, what else? Again, it's like what do they need after that, right? So maybe they need help with that, and you could offer another service related to dealing with those. I don't know.
Also, why are you selling SEO? Could you sell leads? Could you sell phone calls? Could you sell...
But that's the problem. They just don't want more. They're like
So it's only
they want more leads, but when I tell them that I need 20,
Yeah.
30, 41 leads a month.
Again, so either that's not part of the customers that you want, and then you just disregard them, or you come up with an offer that actually is for those people, that's related to what you're offering, ideally. Awesome. Any more questions? Or yep. Go ahead.
I just had a question about the add-ons.
Yep.
So do you do that? I guess depending on your business, do you do it before, like during the first?
The best time to sell somebody something is right after they just bought something from you.
Okay, so it's not after you're done with the project.
Ideally both, right? But the best time, the best chance you're going to have at selling it is right after they said yes to the first thing, you know? Yeah. Awesome. All right. Cool. Well, that's the end of my little presentation and the end of day one. So big round of applause for everybody that's been involved.
All right, well done. Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah.
Really